A lot of us don't love ourselves anymore because somewhere along the way, we forget who we are. We get stuck. We were only surviving, not thriving. And today, I would like to talk about how to break that cycle and kick off 2025 with purpose. We all feel those emotions. I'm too tired. I'll do it later. I can't move. I don't know what to do right now. But life will always happen with our family, with our jobs, with our relationships. Life will always happen. And if we keep push back the things that we wanted to do, the longer we do that, the more and deeper that we despise ourselves. We'll be losing confidence, the basic respect for who we are. There's never going to be a good time to start doing what you're passionate about. Life is guaranteed to always be happening. There will never be a perfect timing. And slowly that resentment and disrespect that we have for ourselves is going to build up. They will become anger and resentment as time builds up. Now that's not a place we wanted to be in life. I remember even before COVID happened, with my business was on smooth selling, a lot of time I would still tell myself, I'm not ready. So much to do here. I'll do it when things get much calmer and chilled. That's just human nature. We got no one to blame because all we do in life all day, all night is fighting with ourselves. Our biggest war and enemies are not outside of ourselves, but it was always within. The amount of motivation and reasoning that we need in order to stand our ground, to say that we're ready, we get going, we're not stopping, that stepping stone and starting point have to be like super solid. You have to be pushed to a point where you feel like you just can't go on anymore. That's when life begins to change. Of course, I'm the big believer of suffering and pain being my biggest motivations because I'm a very hot-headed person with very strong opinions about everything. So I need to be beat up by life to the bottom, to the point where I feel like I need to change. That's when my motivation and my drive always the most powerful and unstoppable. So wherever your motivation, your drives, that's going to be, I believe that has to be somewhere in the bottom. That's when you're going to bounce so high that you wouldn't even believe. But one thing to have in mind is that you always have to believe that you can bounce back no matter what. It's not that no one cares about you. It's simply because everyone is having their own battles. They're all busy trying to save themselves. So you have to be your biggest fan and supporter. That's the only way you get out of the bottom. And what do we usually do when we get stuck in the bottom? Mostly, we're paralyzed in front of the streaming device, watching endless motivation programs without action. We binge watching Netflix one after another. We are passionate about supporting certain political candidates. But what actually happened with our lives when all our free time was dedicated into other people's passion, other people's goals, other people's project? What have we actually gained from supporting other people's motivations and drives, visions and dreams? we get nothing. We just being the cheerleader on the side, which is pretty noble, I would say. But in this world, money is the currency for freedom. If you don't spend the time trying to earn more for yourself, your life is not going to get any easier. Your life is not going to get any easier as the day goes by. It's only going to get tougher and tougher. You know, a lot of us, when we were young, our escapism is to get drunk with friends, to get high, to get lost in music. But in the end, the next day, we're still facing the reality. Punch the card, get to work, 8 hours a day, and get back to home, wake up another day, still the same scenarios. And that pretty much sum up my 20s, my miserable 20s. I realized that lifestyle cannot go on anymore because I just don't have the strength to carry on another day waking up without knowing where I'm going and just get up in the morning and keep punching cards, getting paid and go through the next month. I don't know what I'm doing with my life. I have no sense of direction. I have no purpose. Where exactly am I going? I don't know. And that feeling is so scary. The emptiness that is serving me every single day drove me to a point when I was almost in tears every noon when I was taking my lunch break, taking a long walk, relax after lunch. But at that time, I know working in an office or for other people, it's not going to be my life anymore. Not only I don't have sense of direction on what my passion is, what do I want to align with my everyday life, but I'm working a dead-end job with the people telling me when to go to work, when to wake up, when to get off work, when to work overtime. I'm just deeply, deeply disappointed and feeling hopeless. That's when I started to change. I guess what I'm trying to say is that if you're going through what I've went through in the bottom, those would be the best moment for you to kickstart your life again. At any point of your time, regardless of your age, I don't think age is an issue. What happens in life is always in here. As long as you believe, you can break through any situation that you no longer want to live there anymore. You can recreate yourself at any point of time in your life. And all the time we spend on escaping our reality, maybe they were all necessary. It was waste of time for sure, but maybe that's human nature. We all need a lesson to grow. You might be thinking to yourself right now, what a waste of time those days were. But that's exactly what we need to start over. And I believe the most successful people in the world will tell you that you cannot buy time with more money. Money cannot buy time. Time will be the most precious thing that we ever have in this life. So what are we going to do now to get our time, our life back? That would be the only things that matter. What happened in the past cannot be changed, and it was our fuel to grow and push forward. So the past didn't matter anymore. No one cares. No one's watching. They're busy living their lives in their own failures. They're trying to crawling up of their own bottom as well. So it's time for you to do the same for yourself. 2025, we're starting and kicking off with a purpose. And we all know that change won't happen overnight. What I find useful is to slowly building a daily habits. The goals could be so many, so tiny that you are able to achieve every single day. And after a week, second week, third week, When you achieve that, then you're adding something up to your calendar. That's what gets me through the starting point when I'm trying to turn my life over. Because when you see your goals in a big picture, it could be overwhelming because the scale and the path, they look so far away. You don't have a sense of when are you going to get there. So how do we make the journey enjoyable and meaningful? Is to see ourselves getting improvement every single day. So in order to make our journey of growing up, of being more capable, to be more enjoyable, we need mini goals, baby steps, one day at a time. Enjoy every day. That's also one of the very big happy lesson I learned this year is that every single day needs to be intentionally created, manipulated to be happy and joyful as much as possible. Because one day at a time, that's how life goes. Don't rush the process because that's the sexiest part, the process. Learn how to navigate it through the wilderness. And every single day, the small victory that you contribute to yourself, that is going to build confidence. So first, we're going to build our daily habits towards our goals. Then slowly, our confidence, our capabilities will grow as we learn and fail. During this time, building a solid daily routine and building confidence is our priorities. Nothing else matters. Nothing else matters. We know where we're going. We're getting it. We're not stopping. Do your best every single day. And every day could look very different because some days you're tired. Sometimes the work is very busy. Sometimes you have to deal with your family issues, relationship issues. Those days, you might take a mini break, but you still need to do what you can because you need to reach that level where you feel like, you are like 60, 70%. Those old days when you feel like you don't love yourself anymore, it's over. Because you have suffered enough, you needed a change. That's what I used to say a couple of weeks ago. Because I have suffered enough, that's why I'm changing. Because I have suffered enough, so I've changed. I know that directions and purpose sometimes could be hard to find, but I would say that if you dedicated your time, spend a lot of time alone to quiet down, do diligent research on who you are, what you love, what you would love to be spending a lot of time to get good at. A lot of people will say that your passion. That could be a cliche, but I would say that would be pretty correct. You need to find your passions. Your curiosity sometimes could be the canvas of where your life should be. Like my big interest, for me personally, since I was little, I always been very curious about life's meaning. What am I doing here? That's my first thing. And second thing is that I love music. And for a very long time, I don't know how to really combine these two together, to do the creative work that could maybe in long term turn into something that I could actually have a career on. But this year I realized that, since I'm not in the mood to sing and dance and produce new music. So why don't I just pick up what I used to enjoy doing, writing and sharing while learning live? That's how I find my new direction. And I have spent a lot of time on YouTube looking for, what do I say, a niche or whatever. But for me, I don't think there's a niche. Because for me, life is my niche. There are endless things to be talked about in life and to be learned in life and to share what we have learned in life. So for me, life is a niche. Whether the format could be writing a song about it, or to create a content about it, or to write a quote about it, those would all be the things that I'm passionate about. So that's how I find my new directions. It's going to take a lot of time and confusion and frustration to eventually get to where you wanted to be. And I think one very funny thing about life is that, in my own experience, whenever I feel like there's no way out, but on the other hand, if I give up, I'm going to stay miserable. And in between that fine balance, every time I choose to stick with it, something always came up. So my advice will always be, keep pushing forward. Don't quit. Don't give up. Most of the time, a lot of people and a lot of situations will always come into your path in your favor. That's not even beginner's luck. That's like, if you really want something bad enough, everything in the universe is going to help you. Don't ask me why. I don't know why, but it's just personal experience. This is not some woo-woo stuff, but if you ever have any discussions with people who have successfully pushed through the hardships, hard times in their life, they might tell you the same answer. Is that if you don't give up, if you keep pushing forward, things will always work out. That's just life. So as I said previously, 2025 is being given for us for free. Now is the time to play. There's a new chance that's been given to us. It's precious, and so are you. So don't let anything or anyone hold you back. Starting right now, starting today, and one day at a time. Let 2025 be the years for you to align who you truly are with your life, and for you to show up for yourself and to honor your dreams. I'll see you next week.